Welcome back to Kitefoil Racing in sunny Perth, Australia. We are here for day 2 of the Nationals. This is race 9. We've got the standard windward-leeward course, port rounding at the top mark, Tuesday path through the bottom gates, second lap, round to starboard, and around the start pin through the start-finish line. Conditions are similar to the previous one, so southwest wind. And here's the result so far. Hector Paterow has 2 bullets and Zach Pullen has 3. So Zach in front at this point. Scotty Whitehead's got 1. Alex Landau's got 1. And the chase pack there. Oscar, Alty, Bree, Phil, Jane, Jake, Ludo, etc. And brought to you by Lottery West and Department of Local Government Sport. And sponsors for the event, Dodo, Flymax, Aspire, and 8. Gin Flymax, of course. Kiteboarding WA, and this is part of the National Kitefoil Series, the final national championships. Here's a message from the sponsors. So here we are lining up for the start of this race. You can see the conditions there, southwest, moderate winds. I think most people here are on medium-sized kite 15s. You can see a few red Flymax booms. I know they're 15-metre kites. I think Jane and Hector both on those, so we know we're on 15s here. Same for most of those VMG2 riders, the green kites in the front of the screen here. A few nice blue Gin Instincts there. F1 Diablo grey kite at the bottom here of Oscar Timms. And here we are, there's the boat, that's the line, they're coming in, a couple of seconds to go here. Zach pulling at the bottom of the screen with the blue helmet. Lando and Scott Whitehead there with the red helmets. Zach seems to be a little early, he's slowing up there. And you'll see the pin coming to the bottom of the screen here. They're all lining up, getting ready, jostling, and hammers will go down. You see those kites lower and we're away. Boom, there's the start. There's the flag, so... The tactics seem pretty similar to before. So we've got the VMG2 crew have a very high boat speed going to the pin end, looking to take off at a kite accident in the background there. Ludo and Ant having a tangle there on the blue and light blue. Top of the screen here, Andy Cooksey on that Gin Flymax boom, the blue lilac-y turquoisey colour. He'll be in amongst it. He's always up in that crew. Alty Frisbee up there on the black and white R1, and Phil on the black and white behind him too. Jake Timms on the Diablo 4, the orange one there, the F1 kite. So we're seeing the same spread. And of course, Hector Paterow, I should point out, is gunning to the front there. He's gone more towards the boat end, but is achieving good angle and VMG there. So in that front ladder rung, the standard campaigners, the 3 VMG2 fellas, Hector there with him as well, Oscar a smidgen off. And there's Jane and Bree right behind. So that's a really close battle there too. So Bree on the green and grey VMG2. Jane on the red Flymax Boom 2. And here we go. Let's see who's in front. So Zach's gone deepest. He's gone all the way across to the left, of course. Tacking in front of Oscar comfortably. Lando and... and Zach's gone down. Damn, must have hit some weed in the bottom of the course there. So Zach restarting. Andy Cooksey, a little bit off the pace there. I know he's having a few issues with kite tuning, but normally would be higher up there. Alty Frisbee, Dr. Phil, but battle at the front. Hector, is he on the same ladder rung? Hard to tell from that angle. And we've got Lando and Scott Whitehead here. I can't tell which is which yet. I think looking at the windward board is red. That's Lando. Looks like he's in front. Scott falling behind there a little bit. He's on the blackboard there. Both on VMGs. Yeah, that's Lando in the front. Yeah, red board. So I reckon Lando is actually in front here. You can see Alty there slightly off the pace. I believe that's Jake Tim on that F1 doing very well there as well, matching it with Phil and Alty there. But Who is going to hit this lay line first? Hector is looking like he's storming away upwind. He's not as high an angle, but he's definitely got the boat speed, so he is looking like he will come across. But of course, when he tacks, he will be on starboard, which means he'll have rights over these two kites. So can Lando pinch high and fast enough that he can actually duck that tack underneath Hector there? And he looks like he might. Scott's having a few touchdowns there. Here goes Hector. Can he get in front and call starboard rights? He dummies the tack and sends them early because they were in a weaker inside position there. Lando having to do a clearance. Oh, poor bugger. That is horrible having weed there because he has to pinch and he will not make it if he's got weed. Scott Whitehead pinching like crazy and may have got enough. And of course, Hector went all the way to the lay line. Very smart racing there. And he is honking in. So he will come in. And that's going to help get the best of this downwind leg too. He will round this mark. As they say, go in fat, come out skinny. He will get good deep angle at pace. Scott right on his tail there. So that was really good racing. Poor Orlando copped a bit of weed. Pinching hard slows the VMG down significantly when you have to pinch that hard. So here we go. Hector v Scott. They went pretty early there in the centre of the course, really, as opposed to what they've been doing all the way to left. And Hector will come flying around that good angle. Scott too. So here's the race downwind. Let's see who's fastest downwind. Oh, you can see already. There we go. Hector, deeper angle. He is lightning quick. See that back leg hammered out straight. He's just got fantastic technique and very, very quick downwind. So they're probably doing the same boat speed, but Hector is leaving him behind on the course. So this will be a good battle between these two, but it looks like Hector is really building a nice lead here. Throws his jibe a little bit before the lay line, of course, because they will have to go around through the bottom gates, but he most likely will not be going through the turning around to port and going out to the right. Of course, that would be unusual due to the situation at JBSC, the way the wind works here. Quite often, people will head for the inside, particularly if there's weed outside Woodman's Point and someone going down. Oh, that must be Lando. Potentially another weed crash there in the back. So Lando was getting onto the back of these two front guys again and cops it. And yeah, that is brutal. Definitely the weed when it takes you out like that so randomly and it's not your own fault. That is rough. But yeah, Hector putting on display here. He is owning this downwind, and that's something we see a lot here. Scotty's got good speed, but Hector is just in another league. So quick downwind. We've seen this before too with others. A couple of the guys when they came over from Mauritius, like Jean, who also, and that was that. Oh, Scott had a crash there too. So yeah, there must be a bit of weed coming in through the centre of the course here. It was just the top, but there could be a few strands in the middle, unless that was just an error there from Scott. But look at that difference. Those boys went around almost touching at that top, and that's great to see. And doesn't that kite look beautiful? Absolutely fantastic. And he proves me wrong. It does the port rounding and heads out to the right, of course. You'd have to think he won't go a long way out here. Potentially he's going to tack and go back to the left, but interesting tactic. I wonder how that's going to pay off on this next upwind. So he doesn't go far. He's looking to get a bit more up through the centre for some reason, rather than pushing all the way out to the left, which is a common tactic, playing to the bend of the wind around the headland. And Alti Frisbee not far behind. That was close. Interesting tactics here. I think that is Scott who's followed him through. He's a very long way back, unless it was actually Lando. I guess both of them crashed on the downwind. A couple of riders coming through there. Jake Tim, Boris on the Jet Instinct. That's potentially Dan Self or Riley Sinclair on the F1 Halo in the Formula X division. Potentially Ant or myself coming through downwind on the Instinct there. And another F1 Halo coming through. So I think that's Scott there. Scott Whitehead second place. He must have done the same tactic, gone for the port rounding, headed up a little and going up through the middle of the course. Potentially people are starting to look for the places with the least amount of weed. And there is, no, so there must be Lando following, and I think that's Scott. If that's a black board, that'll be Scott. So either way, Scott and Lando with a pretty big gap back behind Hector. Potentially that's Scott there. So I think he did the starboard rounding. Lando might have gone port and followed Hector. And that's interesting because if he did, he's just got himself slightly in front of Scott. So that's a great catch-up if that's the case. Either way, Lando's right on the back and pushing for that second place. And there's Alti Frisbee. I think that's me dawdling through on the dark blue kite there. And Julie Patarau on the R1V3 black kite coming through the Mauritius female rider. And that's Dr. Phil on the R1V4 black and white coming through. Jane Taylor there on the red kite, the boom. She's just behind, I think that's Oscar Tim, and oh no, that's Bree right in front of her. So again, great effort from Jane there, right on the back. So this 15 boom she borrowed off Tom, thanks Tom Hegarty, is working much better than the one she had an issue with. So she's right on the back of Bree there. There's nothing in that. So it's very good work. Look at that beautiful course and the fantastic Owen anchorage and Jervois Bay Sailing Club. Woodman's Point there in the background. And up at the top, Hector's gone around first on that ley line. He's holding that lead. I think what's happening here is the drone pilot is running out of juice from memory. So potentially he's just going to not punch upwind and film the rest from here. But we're getting to see how this plays out, which is great. So you can see Scott Whitehead and Lando fighting for second place there. Hector around the top. He is in charge and way in front and maintaining that lead heading downwind here. And a good view of the field going upwind. So there's, in the middle of the screen, the red kite, Jane Taylor, Bree, and nothing in that. That is a really, really good battle there between the female fleet. And you can also see at the top, I think that must be Oscar or Zach pulling right in front of Alti Frisbee. Dr. Phil in the right of screen at the top right. So yeah, there's a good picture of that front group and how far apart they are. You can see there's sort of, 50, 100 metres back to the next group. And then Jane, Phil, Bree in that next group. Hector puts in his jibe, heading across the course. He has smashed them. They look like they're in a different race. He is miles in front. And yeah, earned it all on the downwind by the look of it. He's got it dialed. No one's 100% sure what he's doing. But the kite's great. He's great. Just smashing him down. Look at the gap. That's freakish. And you can see hard-fought battle there on the Fly Surfer VMG2s. I actually don't know which one's which in this second and third group. But that's Lando and Scott Whitehead fighting it out for second place there. So Hector looks like he's going to go through here at the end. With the drone is going to stay here because it's out of juice. So Hector, hopefully we see the end here. But yeah, Hector looks like he will drive across these. He's higher, but looks like he's got enough lead there. He will go through, take that win. And Lando, Scott Whitehead second. We'll see a few of the rest of the fleet here. There's Oscar Tim making his job on the right there. And the drone's heading back. So that's the end of race 9. And at the start of the next one, we will hold the results up a little bit longer so you can see who came where. There's a kite down in the background. Monique getting that sole back up into action. And the drone heading back to shore. And that's where we'll leave it.